Welcome back to M Hood Discovered, and welcome to This Town Has a Weird Night Vibe Now. This is the beginning of the town. That's the ICW running underneath this bridge. You come over the bridge and it gets weird. This building, on the awning it says Pimba, and on what looks like a big juice box on the roof, you can barely see it, it says Pimba. Right now it's late July, and in this neighborhood next to the bridge that I'm slowly cruising through, last month, in the last week of June, there was a murder. It was reported to be a domestic. Look at this. Obviously an abandoned car. Look at the weeds growing up around it. The suspect was detained after a multi-parish chase. I don't know if the weird vibe that I've been noticing throughout the week, this is a weekend night, right? But all week I've been out and about during the night and the vibe has just been off. Other people have noticed it too. I thought it was just me at first, but then I started talking to other people and they confirmed that it just, things feel weird. So yeah, there was a murder in this neighborhood a few weeks ago, but is that why the vibe is weird? Or is it the fact that it's been hot and humid and it's been raining a lot? It hasn't been comfortable? Or is it something else? All right, so it is after midnight, and one could easily argue that how could there be a vibe, a night vibe, because there's no nightlife in this town. It's Belle Chase, Louisiana. There's like almost nothing open after midnight. There are things open. Domino's is not open. They're breaking down. They stay open till like 1 a.m. or something. They might, I don't think they're open, but they're in there working, trying to get out. How could there be a night vibe? You're correct, there isn't much of a nightlife here. When you're out and about walking or riding a bike in this town late at night, you know, it does not have to be past midnight. You're not really going to encounter too many other bike riders, walkers, dog walkers, anybody just out and about enjoying the night on foot. You're going to encounter a lot of cars. And that's where the weird vibe is mostly coming from. These cars. So with the cars, you got strangers, you got out-of-towners, you got locals going back and forth, right? You got drunk drivers, you got junkies, you got problem makers, you got everything. We used to have a lot more traffic through the night. There was an LNG plant. There is an LNG plant down the road that they were constructing over the past 3 to 3.5 years, and that's mostly done. They were going to build another one, but they put that on pause. So over the past month in July and a little bit in June, systematically workers are getting laid off, and a lot of those temporary workers have left, but there's still quite a bit here, some working, some not. Is that a part of the weird vibe? Anybody's guess, because it's not something you can easily put your finger on. Throughout the week, myself and others have encountered the deputy sheriffs in this town being very, very active, very proactive, checking on people they see just sitting somewhere in the middle of the night, driving around patrolling areas more than they used to, and using their spotlights. And we don't know why. Like, why are they spotlighting the neighborhood? Who knows? That's probably what adds to the vibe, and then just weird people showing up in the middle of the night in parking lots, like weird people with cars and drunks. Yesterday, I was at a fishing spot and a truck pulled into the grass on the dirt, and I thought they were there to fish, but the guy got out and disappeared on the other side of the truck. Couldn't see what he was doing. I went to the bridge where I ended the video, and I saw that what he was doing was, I'll just gesture, and I never seen him before. I don't know who he was, but he had to pop one out, I guess, but it just made it weird, and I was happy to end my video and go. Things like that happen. It's not uncommon. It's not my first time to see someone behaving like that. So this would be an interesting place to come to after fishing, but look, they close at 9 p.m., which is kind of late for this town because we have one grocery store and that closes at 8. Seems like a lot of traffic for just after midnight, right? Well, it's a Saturday night, and this might not be all people coming from New Orleans. This might be people coming from just the other side. They could be people going to work or whatever. A number of these people coming down the road are bound to be drunk. I've encountered drunk drivers earlier in the night. I've been busy editing all day and doing other things. I had this really, really bad sinus headache, and after finishing my editing, I decided to take a walk by myself. I walked towards the bridge on 23, looped around, crossed the bayou, and came back into the neighborhood on Good News. And I saw a white car coming towards me as I was walking, and it was going really fast. The speed limit in the neighborhood is 15. And I got up into someone's front yard and paused and waited for it to pass. It ran the stop sign. It was doing like 40. It's not like it was running from the cops, but I have seen high-speed chases back there. So this is the very edge of the New Orleans metro area, right? And what's surprising is the crime rate on the other side of the ICW is like a skyscraper in comparison to what it is over here. There's a lot of reasons why we have a low crime rate. We have a lot of law enforcement here, and we have a base. So there's a lot going on here. It's not to say it's 100% low, 100% safe, but it is a lot safer than other places. But it's not always going to have a good vibe. To be clear, the weird vibe isn't really from the locals at all. It's from out-of-towners, strangers. Some of it could be from locals that choose to drive drunk, that sort of thing. There's not much to do, because the truth is, for the most part, there is no vibe at night. Very little, right? You'll be out having a stroll, maybe with the dogs, maybe a bike ride. You just want to get out. You're not drunk, you're just chilling, right? You're all by yourself, there's nothing going on. And then all of a sudden a car comes around the corner being weird, swerving or screaming. You don't recognize the people, they're yelling at you, things like that. Or you're riding your bike or you're driving the car and a car is coming to you, but it slows down and you're wondering, are they about to turn the corner without the signal? Because there's a lot of that right now, a lot. You'll be walking through a parking lot and you're coming up to a red light, and all of a sudden someone cuts through the parking lot at like 50 miles an hour to go through, get around the light, cut through the parking lots, but you're there walking and you just have to dodge So, you know, that gives it a weird vibe. And then, you know, just strange people parking somewhere and behaving weird. And then the cops being like extra cagey, or, you know, just checking on everything. That sort of thing. Pulling people over left and right. There's a lot of things that can add to a weird vibe. But to be honest, like I said before, there's not much of a vibe. Like some nights, like there's really no vibe but the one you're creating yourself. And then all of a sudden, randomly, something weird happens. Loud noises, maybe a gunshot or whatever. And when you're on the edge of the metropolitan and you're in a town like this that is almost like a small town, country sort of feeling, right? Hearing a gun go off can be common. So you can just, you know, you put it out of your mind. Stuff like that. Just because of where you're at. Yeah. Yeah, I would just say it's slightly weird right now. Most people probably don't even notice it, because most people, if they're awake, they're not leaving their house. They've got everything they need, right? It's in the fridge. They're sitting on the couch. They got the AC on. They don't even know what's going on. They're oblivious. They're watching cable or whatever. But there's people out here, stuck out here, driving around, maybe living in their cars. And it is humid. It's very humid tonight. It's very warm. And it has been. So when you get to this point, people can act weird. They've had too much. Anyway, I'm on my way to a fishing spot. Just thought I would talk about that for a little bit. I do expect things to change over time in this town. It has been a very safe, low crime rate town. It is a good town. It does not have a downtown. It's just a highway town. And that's a part of the problem. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. And I will see you next time.